Have you ever had the trauma of thinking you're not ready? Hello, and welcome to today's insight. Now, it's going to be, as I mentioned, about you not thinking you're ready. But I follow the mentality that if something has come in front of you, that is an automatic sign that the universe, God, your ancestors think that you are ready. Okay? And it is just your nerves. It is just your unwillingness or your headstrong attitude towards the fact that no, this is not happening. It's actually making you not ready. I'm going to give you an example, okay? An example of a situation that actually happened to me. So, I had gone to this Toastmasters event, and through reading the flyer, okay, I thought that this was somewhere where you can go and talk, somewhere where even if you don't have the habit of doing so, you can actually go in front and speak and you get critiqued, or at least given constructive criticism. Now, I went to this event expecting to speak, and then they told me, no, you can't speak. Usually you would have to practice. This is only for people who have honed their skill and practice enough times to actually present something. And so I was like, okay, all right. And then a couple of minutes later, they came back to me and said, you know what? Someone who was supposed to speak today is not here yet, so if they don't show up, we can actually place you in their place. I was like, ooh, awesome, okay. I was like, okay, fine. But if they come, that spot won't be open. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I was like, okay, God, at this point, we'll see what happens. So I left it in the hands of God, and I was like, I know my story. I know what I'm going to talk about. I might not be completely fluent in it, but I know exactly what the general idea would be. And so I was trusting that what should happen is going to happen. And the person showed up, so I lost my spot, of course. And so this is just saying that if it's really in your best interest, the God is going to make it happen. Okay? If it's not in your best interest, God will not make it happen. Just FYI. Okay? So, what this comes back to is that our God, okay, the Christian God, not the Jewish God, the Christian God, very big distinction in my mind, is a well-meaning, very nurturing God. Some might say goddess. In actuality, God is both male and female, and God can take on any shape depending on the situation it is, because God is an energy. There is no right or wrong. God is. Okay? Some say God's a woman. Some say God is a man. It doesn't really matter. God is energy, taking on different form at any given moment in time. Whichever suits God's needs is what the form or the energy it is going to depict. Alright? And in situations where you feel like you're not ready, in actuality, that's your ego saying, I haven't done enough. It's not God telling you you're not enough. It's your ego saying you're not enough, because you are enough. For God, you are enough. What are we for God? We are all God's creations. And in a specific way, this is my mentality. You don't have to subscribe to it. From my mentality, from my perspective, okay, we are all a part of God, okay, and we are experiencing God We are experiencing God, and through our experiencing of God, God can experience itself. I don't know if you guys sense it, but it's kind of like, imagine this, okay? If we take God and say that it's a human body, it's all of it, okay? But inside of a human body, you have the neurological system, you have the ocular system, you have the olfaction system, you have the digestive system, you have the reproduction system, you have all these systems, okay? And you have the blood, cardiovascular system, and all those things. Now, every single cell in that body, imagine if every single cell in that body was a living being, living organism that was in constant connection with God, the body, right? And so if God, the body, is in constant connection with every single cell, then don't you think that mainly God would be concerned about its body's well-being? Or like every single system's well-being, and every single cell's well-being, and every single thing inside of its well-being? I mean, think of it this way. You are the God of your reality. The minute, small portion of you that is living in this today is a mini God. Now, I'm not saying you are the God of the universe. No. Or the multiverse, for that matter. You aren't. You are the God of your universe. Singular song. You. That is what you control. That is what you should concentrate on. But if we are like fragments, I'm really going deep. If we are fractals of God, okay, so we have the same capabilities of God on a smaller scale in our universe, okay? I'm just saying. So if we are the way we are with our bodies, then, and we want every single system to operate at the highest capabilities, then wouldn't God, the Almighty, also want that too? I mean, it depends on how you treat your body, but technically that should be the norm. Now, I kind of went off on a tangent. I'm well aware of that. But so the idea I wanted to come back to is that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So whatever that means for you, right? In some cases, to tie it back to what I was saying about that situation at Toastmasters, so when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. In my case, it was that event, and it was me proving to myself that I am up for the challenge, even if I'm not completely ready yet. Now, from that point on, that was God being like, no, you're not ready. You're ready to show me that you're ready, but you're not ready to actually do it, right? So, like, there's some more Talar. There's some more steps you need to do before you get to that point, but you're getting there. That is what I want you to know. So, that is what I'm trying to say. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And you will only learn as much as God wants you to learn. And so I've always wanted to be someone who brings a lot of lessons, who can teach other people, who has something to share. From young age, I knew I was meant for something better, or something share some type of knowledge. I just didn't know how, I just didn't know when, and I didn't have the capabilities when I was young. But that's when I had, but in my young adult life, I was hit by a car, and this is no secret. I say this all the time. So, in actuality, the way I see it is that God knew my entire thing. God knew exactly what I wanted to create, or what I was sent on this world to create. So, like, a basic ideal, like, proof that God still exists and that God will actually help you to reach your goals. So this is kind of to tie it back into what I said at the beginning. This is actually the Christian God, not the Jewish God, which we think that the Christians came from the Jewish culture or Jewish religion. We were like a spin-off in a way, but we are not exactly the same, because of Jesus, who was a Jew himself, was Jewish himself, excuse me for the terminology. Jesus, who was Jewish himself, changed and disrupted the entire system, right, of Judaism, and created Christianity. And what I'm referring to when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, is not just a person. It's a situation. It can be a person, but isn't always the case. It can be a situation, a job, it could be a task, it could be anything that is going to get the person to the next level, okay? It's anything that allows you to grow, to expand, and to become better. Now, any situation that gets you like cursing it and being like, oh my God, this is too hard, and blah 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 blah, is always meant to do one thing and one thing only, which is to help you expand as a soul, is to help you mature as a person, is basically meant to help you go to the next level. That's all it is. So what I want you guys to think about is there something that God is trying to teach you and that you're like, nope, I'm not ready, but you actually are, you just don't think you are? Ponder that.